introduce myself and tell you guys a little bit more about what I do. So again, my name is Grace. I'm a speech language pathologist, a pediatric speech language pathologist, and owner of Graceful Expression. I'm located in California, specifically in Los Angeles. And some services that I do provide include speech therapy and speech evaluations, feeding therapy and feeding evaluations for children that are picky eaters, or they have difficulty with chewing their food. And then I'm also due to the pandemic, I am doing everything virtually right now. But with that said, I am also providing virtual speech and feeding consultations if you're in California. So I do those last about 30 minutes, and in the consultations I provide a brief screening and answer any questions you may have about your child's speech or feeding skills. In addition to that, I also am providing one-on-one parent training for any parents that would like additional help on how you can further assist your child with their speech and language skills. So it's a lot of parent training and coaching, basically showing you different, teaching you different strategies that you can help your child with. And then the third thing that I'm going to be doing more of is virtual group classes. So I have two different groups. So one is for 2 to 3 year olds, and the other group will be for 4 to 5 year olds. And those group sessions is available for anyone in the United States. Your child does not need to have a diagnosis of a speech delay or anything of that sort. It's just it's a good way, especially during this pandemic. It's a great way for people to socialize, but safely. It's great for children to socialize with other children. I know it's virtually, but it's still a great way to work on social communication skills online. So that's another service that I am starting to do, and those group classes are 30 minutes each, and all my virtual sessions are via Zoom. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to contact me. You can contact me on my Facebook business page, Graceful Expression Speech Language Pathologist. And then I also have an Instagram page, which is gracefulexpression.slp. And in these pages, in my business page and in my in both my Instagram and Facebook page, I do provide a lot of different posts about speech and feeding tips. So a lot of the times I'll post either some speech strategies that you can help your baby or your toddler. I'll post different activities, specific activities you can do with particular toys. I'll even post about non-toys. So I'll talk about ways you can use any everyday households to help your child expand their speech and language skills. And then I also provide some feeding tips on how you can help your child eat more of a variety of foods. So I do a lot of those, so you can go check that out and see my posts on those on my Instagram and my Facebook page. So I'm sure people are still probably logging on. Feel free to comment below. Let me know where you're from. Are you from California like me? Are you from LA like me? Are you near LA? Or are you, what state are you in? I would love to know where you guys are from. So shoot me a message down below. And then of course, if you have any questions as I am doing this event, feel free to comment below, and then I'll be sure to answer the questions at a later time. But okay, so I guess I will get started with my topic of choice today. So I will be talking about 3 ways that reading can promote speech and language skills. So I know I keep looking in this direction, but I do have some notes here, so don't mind my eyes always looking over here. Okay, so the one strategy that is helpful is requesting. So before I begin, I do want to always, I like to tell families that you don't have to read every sentence, every word in a book. There are other ways that you can use a book, and that those ways can make reading much more engaging and fun for your child. So as I mentioned, the first strategy I wanted to talk about is requesting. So a few strategies you can do within the requesting is, for example, you can choose 2 books for your child. have them you can ask them, which book do you want? Do you want Dear Zoo, or do you want Every Little Thing? This way they can either point to the book, they can reach for the book, they can grab the book. That way they're requesting what book they'd want to read. And what's great about providing them the choice is you're making it feel like they have somewhat of a control, even though you technically chose the books, but to them it's like, oh, I get to choose what book I want to read. So those choices are a great way for requesting. And a few other things you can do for requesting. So now that your child has chosen the book, before having them, before starting the book, you can have them do signs like open or open book, or have them say I want book. Again, it really depends on what level your child is at as far as their speech and language skills go. So you can do those things before handing them the book. So now that your child has said open book or I want book, then you can open it. And it helps if your child is, let's say you're holding the book and your child is in front of you, so they can see the book while you're holding the book. And it helps when you have the book in your hand, because you can turn the pages whenever you want, and you have more of a control of the book. But again, if your child is more interested in holding it, that's fine too. You guys can hold it together. I know some children like to, flip through each page. Okay, so have them say open book. Another way of requesting, if you have books with flaps like this one, before opening it, you can say, we can do knock knock, open door. So you can say open and wait for them to say open, and then you can say open. And then they can, you can talk about what animal is inside. You can label it. You can talk about the sounds. So that's a way of requesting. And then before turning on to the next page, you can have them tell you turn page, or more please, or more book. Again, depending on what level your child is, it depends. If they're just signing, you can have them sign more. If they're able to produce single words, you can have them imitate more, or turn page if they're doing 2-word phrases. So those are great for requesting. And then of course, when you're all done with the book, rather than having your child just put it down, you can have them sign all done book, or have them just do all done, or say all done, depending on what your child is able to do. So that is one way of promoting speech and language skills. My number 2 strategy is expanding phrases. So I'll show you with a different book, since this one has more pictures. So this book is Every Little Thing, and this is by Cedella Marley. So as you can see here, there are a lot of different pictures going on, a lot of words. So a few phrases that I like to use for expanding is using phrases like I see, I found. So I'll show you how you can do that. Now, let me open this book again. So you can model for your child, I see a cat. Or a cat. Or you can say, I see umbrella. And then model for your child, and then pause and wait and see if your child will say their own phrase. So, for example, I can say, I see an umbrella, and maybe your child might be able to imitate that phrase, but change the last word. So maybe they'll say something like, I see a bird. So that's one phrase that I like to use for expanding. Another one you can also use is I found. So for example, I would model, I found a ball. And then you can ask your child, what did you find, or what do you see, depending on what phrase you're looking at. And your child can tell you what they found. Or you can even talk about, or have them do the I want, which is, again, requesting. So let's say that's another phrase that you can practice throughout the book too. If they want to do more book, you can have them say, I want book, or I want to turn page. So those, I would say, are the three main phrases that I do like to use with the little one. So I see, I found. Yeah, I would say those phrases are good. You can even, of course, be creative and do other phrases. If you're maybe using pronouns, you can use pronouns and say, oh, he's looking at the bird. he's looking at the bird. So you're doing he, or you can even do she, or they can say they are hugging. So those are also good phrases that you can use to expand on, because you're using pronouns and you're also using different verb tenses. You're using those, ing verbs. And you can even talk about emotions. That's another phrase you can talk about. So you can say, oh, she feels mad, or he feels scared. So those are other phrases you can talk about as well. So again, you can change it up, get creative with whatever you want your child to say while reading the book. Again, it's helpful to model the phrase first that you would like them to do. That way they know what you want them to say. Let me just get some water here. All right, so we did number 1 for requesting, number 2 for expanding phrases, and now number 3 is asking questions and following directions while reading a book. So like I said earlier, you don't have to read every word, every sentence in the book. It's actually really helpful to make it more interactive. That way your child is more engaged in the book versus just, sitting there and reading the words. So asking questions and following directions would be my 3rd strategy. So let's go back to this book and I'll show you how you can do that. So for example, you can ask questions like, knock, knock, who's inside? It goes, so you're giving them the clue like, oh, who's inside? The animal goes, makes that sound, and then they can guess, it's an elephant, and then they'll see, oh, look, elephant, it is an elephant. You can even ask them about the animal sound, like, oh, what does an elephant say? So any book with animals, you can ask questions about the sound that those animals make. Even talking about vehicles, if there's a fire truck in the book, or a police car in the book, ask them, oh, what car does it make? Or what sound does it make? So some type of questions you can ask. For children that are a little bit more older or more advanced, you can ask them more specific questions, so kind of more on the comprehension question side. So you can ask him, oh, what is he doing, or what is he thinking, or what is he feeling? And you can ask, as you're looking at the book together, you can ask questions like, what happened, or what is he going to do next? Or why. Another question for emotion would be like, oh, why does he feel that way? So again, this is more advanced questions that you can ask your child, depending on, where you think your child is at. Then you can, of course, ask those questions. You can ask, oh, what are they doing? Again, you're having them answer with verbs and pronouns when you ask questions like that. Let's see, you can say, uh-oh, what happened? Oh no, why is mom mad? Why is she mad at him? So those are other questions you can ask. And of course, if you are doing questions, just keep in mind, if it's too many questions at a time, your child may be a little bit more hesitant to answer all those questions at a time, just because, it may increase some pressure. So it's helpful to really change it up. So don't feel like you have to ask a question every second. I don't want families to be like, oh, what is he doing? Oh, what's the cat doing? Oh, what color? What color is her dress? Oh, what are the birds doing? What color are the birds? What shape? So those are okay questions, but we don't want to ask them too much. Another form of asking a question is actually having them fill in the blank. So, for example, back to this book. Instead of saying, what's inside, or what is it, you can say, it's a, then you pause a little bit and see if they say snake. That way, instead of saying, what is it, you're having them fill in the blank instead, which really makes a difference when you ask a question versus a fill in the blank statement. Because when you're asking a question, children often feel, and I know as an adult myself, or at least as a child growing up, we do tend to shy away or feel that pressure when we're asked a lot of questions. So it helps to change that question into more of a statement. So like, oh, it's a, and then wait for your child to say snake. And then you can say, oh, look, it's a, and then they can say frog. Another way you can do that is, oh, look, I see a, they can say, oh, I see an umbrella, I see a cat, I see him splashing. So a lot of different ways to ask questions. And then, of course, you can also follow directions while asking questions too. Have your child follow directions while asking. So you can ask them questions like, where are the 3 birds? And then your child can say, oh, they're there, or they're on, they're by the window. Another form of following direction with the question would be like, let's see, you can even have them point to action and be like, where is a small boy laughing? So that is a little bit more complex, but that's another form of question you can ask. You can even ask for actions, especially with a page with different actions. You can ask them to point to the boy that's walking. So they can point to this. So that's another fun way of teaching directions, questions, and having them, point to the correct action as well. So I believe those are the 3 strategies that I've had. So let me just reiterate what they were. So number 1 is requesting. So, that would be having your child request open, more book, turn page, having them say, I want. So that's number 1. And then number 2 would be expanding phrases. So that would be using phrases like, I see a dog. I found a butterfly. So, getting really creative and just talking about the pictures and using phrases. That way your child can also model the phrases after you, or if they're not able to imitate you yet, you're at least giving them the vocabulary that they may not have yet. And then lastly, number 3 is asking questions / following directions. So like I was saying, you can ask different questions, you can talk about emotions like, oh, how is the boy feeling? Or why is the mom mad? Or ask questions like, what are they doing? Or for following directions and questions, you can ask, where's the boy jumping? Where's the boy sitting? Or where is the girl sleeping? So those are a lot of different, as you can see, there's different type of questions that you can use to have them answer or follow directions. And then again, with that, just remembering to change it up. And you can use all these strategies, throughout the book. You don't only have to use one strategy at a time, because like I said, it's really helpful when you're not reading every word, every sentence of a book, because that way you may lose your child's engagement. But if you're making it fun, if you're making it interactive, if you're talking about the animals, if you're talking about different things, you can do knock knock. If you see a flower, you can smell it. That way you're making the book more lively by doing these 3 different strategies versus only reading the book. So yeah, those are my 3 strategies on how you can make reading more, how you can help your child read and help them promote speech and language skills. Again, if you have any questions, leave some in the comments. I'll be sure to answer them. I'll try my best to answer them to the best of my ability. And if you have any additional questions, you're more than welcome to follow me on my Instagram or Facebook account. Again, my Instagram is gracefulexpression.slp, and then my Facebook is Graceful Expression Speech Language Pathologist. So if you have any additional questions that maybe you want to ask on your own, you can message me on there. My website is on my Instagram. You can click on that, and if you wanted to, have an actual consultation with me, you're more than welcome to do that as well. But yeah, well, I guess that is all I have for today for you. I hope you enjoyed this event. Again, thank you so much for joining. I'm so happy that you guys are here to learn about different ways you can help your child promote speech and language skills through reading. And hopefully I will be back here again another time. Thank you so much. Bye.